Welcome back. So as of today, which is whatever day it currently is, Pokemon TCG Pocket hasn't been announced. It's been kind of leaked that we're getting a new set at the end of January. It is January as I'm recording this, and before a new set, this is going to be, I assume, the big second set, and not like another side set. It's going to be the next main set. I want to talk about what I want to see. I want to see quite a bit. There's some Pokemon I would like to see. There's a lot of theories going around as it might be based off of like just specifically Generation 2 as like the big hits, kind of like how this was just kind of based off 151 with some sprinkled in there. And like Mythical Island was kind of based off like Celebi and Mew with some stuff sprinkled in, right? I'm hoping that we do get a focus on Gen 2, but it doesn't mean that I want every EX to be from Gen 2. I would like some splash. It doesn't have to be Gen 2 focus. It could just be on powering up some of the weaker types. I am debating if I want to start a podcast about Pokemon Pocket specifically because I was talking about this with one of my friends, and I was like, this will be some good content. But we talked about the weakest types in Pokemon Pocket, and Steel type is obviously insanely weak. It's the weakest type. I think there's like six Pokemon for it. It has no support, and it's not really good. And a lot of the times you see Steel running around, it's kind of like a little gimmick thing where people are like trying to make metal work, and there's like something there, but it's just not. It's not there yet. And I think having some Steel type support and Dark type support, because Dark is another deck that has like nothing going for it. If I'm not mistaken, those are the only two types without an EX, right? Because there's an EX, there's several EX for fighting, for grass, for fire, for electric, for water, for psychic. Every other type has EXs except those two and dragon. But dragon's kind of a weird type. It always has been. Um, I remember back when they tried to make like a dragon energy type in like the TCG, and that didn't go too well. It didn't last long. But I am interested to see if at one point we're going to get fairy types introduced like they have in the TCG, but we'll talk about that. I don't want that introduced in this set that's coming up right here. I just want support for what we have. I would like to see more dragons. Maybe something for like Kingdra. Like Kingdra is a dragon type. It would like to be cool if it can evolve from Seadra to Kingdra, and Seadra's a water, but it evolves, into a dragon, and that way it just uses water energy and a different kind of energy as a dragon. They have to have mixed energies. They're supposed to be hard to use. That's the thing with dragons in this TCG. It's supposed to be difficult to use. Regardless, it'd be super dope if that was the case. So sorry, I got a text from my roommate. Regardless, I will be very nice if that's the case, in which they could give us more dragons, more dark, and more psychic. What's interesting is we could do something with the Elite Four. They haven't been touched yet, and I think it'll be very dope if we could get something like a Lance card that could help with dragons, or we could get if it is going to be focused on Gen 2, we can get like Jasmine who focus on steel types, or we could get, I don't know who would do for dark types, but it'd just be nice to get some dark type support. I would like an EX for the dark types. I would like Absol EX. I know it's not a Gen 2 Pokemon, it's a Gen 3 Pokemon, but it's just a Pokemon I really enjoy. I would like to see Tyranitar EX. That's a Pokemon fitting of an EX. I'm actually surprised we didn't get like a Dragonite EX. That was something I was kind of expecting, but we never got. So maybe we don't get a Tyranitar EX, maybe in fear of it being too powerful. Or maybe they'll have a whole set based off pseudo legendaries where they all get EXs. Never mind, that would be cooler. Now that I'm thinking about it. But it would be nice if we had like a dark type EX that was very prominent, something like an Absol or like a Houndoom or fucking like Murkrow. To give us Honchkrow. It's not too late. It's not too early. Give us Honchkrow. We could do that for like a dark type EX. And I would also just like to see a dragon type EX at some point. Like I said, that can be down the line because I know dragon's a little difficult to work with. But if I could see like a dark type EX, a steel type EX, a steel type Pokemon. Give me Scizor. Please just give me anything for steel. They need work. It would be sick. I know there's some statuses that haven't been announced in the game. I mean, they've been announced, but not in the game yet, like burn and stuff. I don't really care if we bring that this early. I really don't mind either way, but I'm mainly more worried about. I want to see specifically EXs for Pokemon types that don't have it. If we get another Psychic EX, cool, but I do feel like Mewtwo and Mew being both Psychic EXs are very strong. I do feel like Charizard still has a place, although a new Fire EX would be nice. We got a new Grass EX recently with Celebi. I do feel like Venusaur and Executor are really good, though. I do feel like Water is probably the strongest type in the game outside of Psychic. Psychic and Water are kind of in contention for strongest type just because of the support they have. I do feel like Electric's really strong, too, but Water and Psychic's really good just because the existence of Vaporeon being really good at moving water energy around. I know a lot of people don't see the how good that is, but eventually that will be very good. Misty obviously very strong 50% of the time. Even getting one energy off Misty is enough to put you ahead. It's very insane. But also you have like Grass. When the Grass just got a decent amount of support, Superior, oh my god, Superior's insane support for Grass. And that's something that like um I don't know, man. It's insane support for Grass. I do love it. It makes every Grass type deck very, very good. Because you basically can play for half the energy, and I think that's very strong in itself. So I like to see support for something like Dark. The best Dark card we have is probably like Scolipede. No, it's Weezing. It's Weezing, but Weezing's only really good if you have it in conjunction with Koga because of the retreat cost. It's just Dark needs help. Dark is so close. Like, there's a reason that Dark is still so prominent without EXs, but it just needs that last like push of support for it. And I feel like Steel is one of those types that could also just get one or two good pieces of support, man. Like, if they could just get a playable Pokemon or a way to like build up energy or a anything really. They only have your options are Malvile, Bisharp, and, and Melmetal, man. You don't have options. Give them options to actually work around with. I think it'd be pretty good. I also want to see just more with fighting. I do feel like even though fighting's pretty okay, it's just very weak. Like the best fighting decks rely off like Marshadow and like Primeape, and Marshadow's inherently not that great. It does 100 on the crackback. This assumes you've already gave up a point. Like you give up a point, you can go up with Marshadow, you can do 100, then it instantly drops back to 40. And that's not good. That is not good at all. I don't feel like Marshadow's really good that way. I feel like Revenge would have been better if it was based off how many points you lost. So if you lost 1 point, it would do 40 more damage, making 80. And if you lost 2 points, it would do 120. You could justify having a two drop 120 on the back for the crackback if you've 2 points down. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know. Marshadow is not good enough to make fighting like real. I was hoping that Primate would do something, but really, it needs to have damage on it, and it's so squishy. And because Psychic inherently just got a buff with the newest set, it's just not. It's just not doing anything, man. It's unfortunate. And like Aerodactyl EX, I think it's really good. I think that's prominently going to be a very good Pokemon. However, if it doesn't have the cards to facilitate it sitting there and doing its job, it's not going to be good. It's a Gengar EX thing. Who I forgot Gengar EX. Oh my god, Gengar EX is in the game, right? That's a card that, like on paper, very good. In reality, it's not that great. Like it's because Psychic has so much. Gengar EX does nothing. It needs to be in the active slot. It doesn't hit hard enough to facilitate it wanting to be in the active slot. If it could work from the bench like Aerodactyl does, I think Gengar EX would be in every Psychic deck. I do believe that because with access to Mythical Slab, it's easier to get through to your stage twos. It's just man, I forgot about Gengar EX being in the game. There's probably another EX I'm forgetting then. Pidgeot EX is fine. I think more normal type EXs would be cool. What do we have? Wigglytuff and Pidgeot. I mean, those two are solid. I just like another one. Give me like I don't know, Firo. Please do something for Firo or Miltank. Honestly, that sounds annoying. Yeah, give me Miltank EX. Make it a thing where like it gets stronger every time with rollout. I would love that. Anyway, if you're playing Pokemon TCG Pocket still, what deck are you running? Right now, I'm running this weird psychic deck, which is Mew EX and Florges. That's kind of all that's in there. I have one Hypno because I only have one Hypno, but it just sits in the back line and puts things to sleep. I'm gonna have a Sligglyph to help me like dig through the deck, but that's kind of it. I'm just kind of running that basic little psychic thing. That or I'm playing like Scolipede and Weezing. I think that deck's very fun. That's all I've been really playing though. But if you're still playing TCG Pocket, what decks are you playing? Is there any card you want specifically in TCG Pocket? Do you want like I don't know, the Wooper EX or maybe a Slugma? We do love Slugma. Just let me know below if you want to add me on Pokemon TCG Pocket. Maybe, not really. I'll make a community post with my thing if you guys actually want to add me. It's pretty dope. It's a lot of fun. If you haven't played TCG Pocket, you want to give it a shot, go ahead and do so. I do recommend it. I think it's a lot of fun. We're getting close to a new set releasing, so probably a good place to jump in, get some cards from this old set, get some cards from the new one, and just have a nice little time. But yeah, if you like the TCG Pocket videos, that's pretty great. If you think I should start a TCG Pocket podcast, that would be interesting to know. Let me know down below because I'm debating it, and I'd be so down to sit down and talk about Pocket for hours because I could talk about card theory, which is my favorite part of card games. Maybe I start a card game podcast. That in itself actually sounds like a better idea. What do you think? Pocket podcast, card game podcast, or do I just add it as part of the normal videos on the channel? I already do a lot of rambling about card games in general. Do I just compile them into one long video so you can just sit there and throw in the background as you make spaghetti? Let me know down below. Anyway, thank you for letting me waste your time. I know I've said this already, but I talk in circles. You guys know this, and have yourself a damn good one.